It's only a movie. Only a movie.
Welcome back to Dread and Terror, where we slice and dice the best, worst, and most misunderstood movies in horror. Today, we're revving up our chainsaws to defend a movie that got shredded when it hit Netflix in 2022, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Horror fans were quick to bury this one, calling it a soulless cash grab or a betrayal of the 1974 Tobe Hooper classic, and chopping it to pieces based on the trailer alone. But here's the thing, I think the haters got it wrong, because I was one of them. This movie is a bloody, chaotic, and surprisingly clever addition to the franchise that deserves a second look. So grab your chainsaws and a cup of award-winning chili, and let's carve into why Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is way better than you remember.
It's gonna be great.
Let's start with the elephant in the room, the backlash. When Texas Chainsaw Massacre hit Netflix in February 2022, it was like horror fans collectively revved up their chainsaws to tear it apart. Critics gave it a measly 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, and fans on Twitter were just as brutal, with posts calling it a disgrace to Tobe Hooper's legacy or a cheap Halloween ripoff. This was billed as a direct sequel to the 1974 original, ignoring all the sequels, prequels, and reboots of varying qualities. Fans wanted something as raw and terrifying as Hooper's classic, but instead, they got a slick, gory slasher with modern themes like gentrification and social media. Recent Chainsaw entries had not exactly inspired confidence either, so fans were primed to pounce. Compare that to the warm embrace of 2018's Halloween or 2022's Hellraiser, this one didn't stand a chance. The plot didn't help win people over either. A group of young influencers, Melody, Lila, Dante, and Ruth, head to Harlow, Texas to gentrify a ghost town, only to piss off Leatherface, who's been chilling in an orphanage for 50 years. Oh, and Sally, the original final girl, comes back for revenge. Sounds like a lot, right? Critics slammed the story as logic-free and hated how it shoehorned in buzzwords like cancel culture. Fans were just as nasty, mocking that quote from the trailer,
"Try anything and you're canceled, bro,"
labeling it as woke or stupid. But here's where I think the hate misses the mark. This movie knows it's a mess and it leans into that chaos on purpose. That "try anything and you're canceled, bro" quip? In the context of the film, it works perfectly. These entitled influencers pull out their phones instead of running, live streaming Leatherface's rampage, while the chat calls the murders fake or lit. It's a biting jab at internet culture, people filming tragedies for clout instead of helping. The film's not preaching, it's showing these clueless kids as the perfect chainsaw fodder. There's even a deeper layer about outsiders imposing their values on a rural town, completely blind to the irony of their own failure to assimilate. One of the coolest things about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is how it skewers the very idea of legacy sequels. If you've seen the 2018 Halloween reboot, you'll notice some eerie similarities. Both films bring back an aging final girl, Sally Hardesty here, Laurie Strode, and hell, most of the rest of Haddonfield in the Halloween franchise, decades after their first encounter with a masked killer. Both try to bridge the past and present with new characters, but facing that same evil. But while Halloween played it straight, Texas Chainsaw goes for satire. Director David Blue Garcia and writer Chris Thomas Devlin aren't trying to copy Halloween's formula, they're mocking it. They're mocking how these reboots recycle the same old tropes for nostalgia bucks. Sally's return isn't the warm, fuzzy fan service you'd expect. Without spoilers, let's just say her arc flips the script on member berries.
Remember Chewbacca again? Oh, I love to remember Chewbacca. Remember?
It's like the movie saying, you want your legacy characters? Fine, but don't expect the story that you had written in your head. Unlike Scream, where Sidney Prescott survives endless ghost faces, Leatherface doesn't care about Sally. Hell, he doesn't even remember her.
You don't remember me.
That's refreshing in a genre where killers obsess over their final girls that they just can't seem to kill. And then there's the way it skewers modern horror trends. The influencers are basically a parody of every annoying slasher victim stereotype. They're self-righteous, they're phone-obsessed, and they're way too confident. When they talk about gentrifying Harlow or get into arguments about Confederate flags, it's cringy, but that's the point. The film's saying, These kids are clueless, and they're about to get chainsawed for it. It's not subtle, but it's self-aware, and that's what makes it fun. Unlike other reboots that take themselves too seriously, this one's in on the joke. You're not rooting for most of these characters, but they don't deserve the brutal justice that Leatherface dishes out either. So why does Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 deserve a second shot? First off, the gore is insane. This is the bloodiest entry in the franchise, with a body count of 38 kills, nearly doubling that of the previous record holder, 2017's Leatherface. Special effects artist Todd Tucker nails Leatherface's look, making him terrifying yet pitiful, like a wounded animal lashing out. Mark Burnham's performance keeps that balance, reminding us Leatherface isn't just a monster, he's a product of his messed up world and, more intimately, a messed up family. This version of Leatherface feels fresh yet familiar, with a childlike curiosity beneath the violence. I love the first time Leatherface is unleashed in this movie. He is absolutely brutal. The sound of him carving the face off of a body will make your stomach turn. But then he gently caresses a victim's hair like he's inspecting a toy doll. It's chilling and oddly innocent. Second, the film's pacing is relentless. At just 81 minutes, it doesn't waste time. From the moment Leatherface grabs his chainsaw, it's non-stop chaos. There is no convoluted flashback to rewrite history, there isn't an evil dies tonight subplot. The most we get of a summary to the original film is a quick true crime documentary seen on a convenience store TV. Fede Alvarez, who rebooted Evil Dead and directed Alien Romulus, had a story credit, and you can feel his knack for lean, mean horror. Colin Stetson's score, from gems like Hereditary, adds this primal dread. So sure, the plot's a bit messy, but slashers thrive on energy, not logic, and this movie delivers that the moment Leatherface is evicted from his home. Finally, the visuals are stunning. This is the main thing I credit for reassessing my original hatred. The ambulance crash in a sunflower field, with cicadas chirping as Leatherface hunts, all under a beating Texas sun, is just pure art. Harlow's dusty roads, splintered wood, and vintage cinema scream old school Texas, clashing with the influencer's neon digital vibe. A thunderstorm-soaked bloodbath and a river of gore will stick with you years after watching this film. It's a visual love letter to the franchise's roots. Is it as good as the 1974 original? Of course not. That's a horror masterpiece, but it's not trying to be as good as the original. It's a loud, messy, gory love letter to the franchise that dares to have fun with its legacy. And that's a legacy twisted and gnarled with entries that are more than forgettable. It's a film with blemishes. A plot point around one character's trauma from a school shooting feels a little half-baked, but it's a mostly inoffensive attempt to say something more. If you're like me, one character's survival will have you rolling your eyes, but the film reads your mind with a killer one last scare moment, twisting the original's iconic truck escape into something fresh. So there you have it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 deserves a second chance. It's got the gore, the attitude, and just enough brains to keep you hooked. If you hated it the first time, maybe give it another shot with fresh eyes. It certainly doesn't deserve to be so low on the totem pole of legacy sequels. So what do you think? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Or are you ready to revisit it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep your chainsaws revved and your screams loud. Always remember, we love you so much, it's scary.